Hello everybody. So today I just wanted to give a quick update on a project I've been working on recently. So as you can see here, we have a 32 by 32 chunk map of Britain, and all of this terrain was generated using some code that I wrote in Python. Now I originally got the idea for this project from this video. I would really recommend going and checking out their channel. Their explanation of how everything works is a lot better than mine, and the video is a lot higher production quality. But basically the way their one works is they get some data from OpenStreetView, I think it's called, and they essentially get the basic map out of the terrain and like buildings and stuff. But I did notice one thing that their code didn't include was things like height maps, right? So it didn't have any like differences in elevation for the world, it was all kind of flat. So my idea for this project was, instead of getting all the information from like OpenStreetView, it was instead to turn something like a height map like this, you know, kind of like a grayscale basic like elevation map, and convert that into a world. So if we get these grayscale values, which range from 0 to 255, just like an 8-bit thing, and then we map these to like height values in the world, and then place at the highest point a stone block, we'll end up with something like this, which already is a pretty good layout of, you know, the basic terrain. And then if we just fill everything in under that, we get essentially like a huge terrain that's just stone. So if we had some basic surface construction rules, say for example the highest block is grass, the next couple are dirt, and on top of that we put like, you know, the grass plants and some trees and stuff, and then we add in some water, we end up with something that kind of already looks like Minecraft terrain. If we then add some kind of elevation rules, for example, you know, we have under the sea, we have above the sea, we have kind of like a mountainous region, and we have like the peaks, and then we set those to be different blocks. You know, for example, under the sea it should be sand, in the plains it should be like grass and stuff, the mountains should be like stone, and the super high like peak mountains should be like ice and snow. We get this kind of terrain, which I think really shows like the difference in elevations of the world. And that's kind of where I'm at right now. We have this kind of basic, almost like plains layout of the world. So now we have this kind of basic terrain generation rules. And the next things I want to implement are things like biomes, like ore generation and cave generation, and things like cliff overhangs, and then eventually add things like structures and like custom entities that spawn in like different regions and things like that. You know, for example, if you're like up in the mountains, it should be, you know, like wolves or something, I don't know. And this doesn't just work for this like specific Britain map. Any height map you upload, and if you have like the biome maps and things like that for it, it should be able to generate it pretty quickly. I think for this world, this is like one region, so it's 32 chunks by 32 chunks. This takes around 60 seconds to generate, and it's about the same for each region. So for example, if you had something that was like 1024 by 1024 blocks, it would take like 4 minutes or like 3 minutes, something like that. And then the actual end goal of this project is I want a kind of like software thing that you can kind of choose which biomes are where, upload your own custom height maps, add your own structures, and then essentially make it very easy to do. I'm aware that like things like this already exist, but I wanted to kind of give my own spin to it and make it like very like open source, so you can just like download the code. I haven't set up the GitHub or anything for it yet, but by the time I do the next devlog, I should have like the GitHub and all of that stuff set up, and also like biome generation and things like that. But the main reason I wanted to upload this video is to kind of get other people's feedback, you know, see what kind of things they wanted to add and what they thought might be a good idea to add to this world. So let me know what kind of things I should try and generate, and like what kind of rules and things like that you would implement. I think it'd be really cool.